Hello, welcome to my tube. My name's Marge. I'm a Hilk Empath, and I just like having these little conversations on the way I feel about things. Today I'm all in my feels. Scorpio moon. Feels like home to me. Home ain't never been a place for me. It's always been a feeling. I've always looked for it like it was a place. Then come to find out later in life, it's just a feeling. Just like chicken noodle soup. How I don't think, yeah, sure it has some nutritional value in it. Probably less now because more people are going vegetarian and vegan and whatnot. And gluten free. No gluten noodles. Anyway, it's all about perspective. So, but I didn't get sick a lot. I mean, but when I did get sick when I was a little kid, it was bad. It was bad. My whole life is a case of, what do I say? I named a video after one time. Series of the best worst case scenario. Yeah, I think that's it. That sounds about right. Oh, it's been a long day. I got some sun today, so I'm kind of, my energy is depleted a little bit. So when I was little, though, I'd get, sometimes I'd get like to take a mental health day when I just didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to deal with fucking people, because kids are mean, man. You know what mean kids are? They're the premise to really mean freaking adults after years of practice. That's all they are. We learn everything we need to know in kindergarten, I think. There's a book series called that, I think. So yeah, you get to stay home, watch The Price is Right. Mom makes a can of Campbell's chicken noodle soup. It always made me feel better, raised my vibe. And then people get older and they have chicken noodle soup. Campbell's chicken noodle soup don't even taste the same anymore. So I just soon make my own now, but vegetable soup when I'm sick. But I just don't get sick. Anyway, my point is I think a lot of people will eat the soup because they're drawn to the memory and the sensation of being cared for and being nurtured and being taken care of, pampered. Because that's what happens when people get sick. Usually people take care of them. People get visitors, people get flowers, people get appreciated, and I'm really excited for moving towards a world where people do that just because people are alive. Because people are so grateful to be alive. People are getting real grateful to be alive. So, because they're missing out on stuff and they're remembering. And we're at another point in history where things aren't going to be like they were before. It's another freaking fork in the road, and people got to decide which way they're going to go, in ego or in spirit. A lot of people, they're finding their spirit. They're finding that they have a spirit. They're realizing it's not just mind and body and all this stuff that, has made the Catholic Church the the richest power in the world. People give money for what? For prayer? Or to keep secrets? Ooh, those confessional. I wonder all the stuff that people have heard and just have wiped their conscience clean with giving the church money year after year after year and all that stuff. It don't vibe no more. It don't go, because more and more people are finding out. More and more people are turning over. I'm trying to maintain my vibe. You see, there's that same flame story. I don't necessarily know that my same flame is of the romantic variety. She's just my best friend. We got close fast, and then it fizzled out as quick as it fizzled in. Not for me, but that's how it is usually in any situation for me. I get more excited about stuff than other people because I imagine how things can be, and oftentimes people aren't imagining the same stuff I'm imagining. So I've learned to be more communicative and talk more about my heart's desires. So anyway, my same flame, she started answering me. We've been talking, instant message. And it's just nice. And I never, in this whole time that we haven't spoken in 3 years or something like that. It's been a while. I lost track. I just let her go. Then every now and again when the stars align, I'd send her a message. And she answered. So I always thought the whole time we weren't talking that if she ever answered, just the comfort of her vibe being on the other end of a conversation, I never even have to see her again. That's all I need. Yeah, and I'm trying not to get too excited about it, because when I get too excited, that's when I do too much. And so, it's like any other day. It's one day at a time. I just have something extra to be grateful for today is all, and I really am grateful. I am. Yeah. Life is getting good again. It is. It is. And I'm allowing myself and giving myself permission to feel good. And I threw the shoes away. So I'm not waiting for the other shoe to drop anymore. It's like, and it's cool because the astrology is freeing other people up too. I'm not the only one. There are so many people waking up. I just hear these whisperings, these inklings, people just coming into their spirit, the spirit of who they are, And when I say that, let me clarify. To me, the spirit of who they are is like who you acted as a child. If you're an ant burner or somebody that did weird shit to animals and stuff like that, this incarnation, I think, is more of a lesson for people like me than it is for you, because you got no feelings. People like you people that do things to kids and shit like that, you got no feelings. You a psychopath. What you are educational tools for empaths like me to learn how to differentiate what the fuck is for me and what's not. What a low vibrational being is, what grossness exists in the world, what I need to, and see, evidently we pick our incarnation in the beginning before we, and if that's the truth, and if I was really going to make myself an example as to one of those people that was freaking raped as a baby, and that was the beginning of my grotesque past. But the thing of it is, because all that crappy shit happened to me, I know how to relate to other people that happened to, and that's what's going to heal the world. The principle of one human being connecting to another, connecting to another, connecting to another, and the more people connect, the bigger that power grows and that idea grows, and more people are thinking peace and using money for productive ways and creative energy means, and all that just goes on and on and on, because now is the first time we have a mentality on the planet, a consciousness that very well could, for the first time ever, create a society, well, in our record, of all the records that we have access to that haven't been buried from freaking being bombed in third world countries and things like that. So what we know of, we could have peace on earth. We could have heaven on earth. Because all that misogynistic, toxic, all that patriarchal stuff, it's all dying. It's all dying. Because everybody's calling bullcrap. Everybody, because they're going by their heart space. They're like, I don't believe you. That's crap. That don't even add up, Stuff don't even add up. And people are starting to listen to themselves more and more. I've gotten in a lot of trouble. I was suspended when I was 12, on my 12th, 13th birthday. I was in junior high. I got suspended on my birthday. It was like a day off for me. What I care, but called Mr. Smith, CVI, a dirty old man. He made all the girls uncomfortable, and he just had a weird, creepy vibe. And you don't touch people. You don't put your hands on people. You don't, gropers, No, you don't do that. You don't touch people without permission. That's a tell for me of what kind of vibrational being that you're dealing with. And if they drank on top of it, keep them away from your kids, folks. Yep. Yep. And more people are starting to listen to their heart, and they're starting to read people, and they're starting to see the low vibrational beings. I don't want to use evil, because ain't nobody's all the way evil. Ain't nobody 100% evil. They're low vibe. And emotions are vibrations. Emotions are up here. Love, all the good feelings are up here. So when you see people that never get excited about anything, ask yourself why. Get their background story. Maybe that'll clear things up for you. I've been tracking freaking psychology and people. I've been a spectator on this earth, collecting data on how people are, on the psychology of people, and how the inner workings of the whole entire world. And I've watched astrology, so my whole entire life I've tracked astrology. My first birth chart was done on with like a compass, you know, and on parchment paper. I freaking wish I would have known whatever happened to that. Oh, that would have been, that's it. That would have been neat to have. But anyway, what are you gonna do? Anybody in the chat today? Somebody around? Nope. How long have I been talking? I didn't pay attention to what time I started. Let's see. Haven't really been on the interwebs. I'm gonna go settle in and watch some mind-numbing TV. What was I gonna talk about earlier? I did meditate today. I got about an hour and 15-20 minutes or so. It was kind of nice. It was just a pleasant day, man. It was nothing exciting, too particularly exciting that happened. I know that I feel the wave of protests coming. I do feel that. More and more people are getting fired up. I popped in on a Facebook a couple of times. That place is just a cesspool. I hate it. I just feel dirty when I go there. Anyway, but I popped in a couple times, and there's a couple hashtags that are telling me that it's, and we haven't got to the hot summer months yet. And I don't know, the astrology for me, I don't know what your stuff is about, and that's what I freaking really encourage people to do, is to look at their own charts and their own placements, because people are feeling all kinds of feelings right now, and they don't like feeling feelings, and they spend a lot of money and energy ignoring feelings and not paying attention to feelings. But the fact of it is, if you just feel them and get past them, then you gotta deal with them anymore, and then you can spend your money and energy on freaking other shit that's way more important, you know? The breeze verifies. I freaking dig that. I wonder where the crows are. It is kind of late. I mean, well, they have windows. They have windows of periods of time. And I'm not usually out this late. But God, it's just gorgeous. I don't, when it's like this, I just really have a hard time being inside at all. But then when the mosquitoes come out, then I'm motivated, and then I remember why I don't hang out. And because I get allergic to them. Oh, I did walk down memory lane today. That was kind of cool. I have some photo albums from like my basic, like back from basically I've taken pictures my whole entire life. I've recorded my whole entire life. And there's a story that goes along with it, because it's all in chronological order and stuff. And I used to work at a Rite Aid, and I get those disposable cameras, and then have those. I just have always loved pictures. I mean, I always got excited because they're in good condition too, and I haven't looked at them in many years. And there's like pictures from when I went to Crete after Operation Iraqi bullcrap, and I had a disposable, got disposables, and just like walked around. We weren't supposed to walk around, but I look like a tourist. I could fit in, so I just walked around and took pictures and stuff. I was looking for some leather shoes, some particular leather shoes I never found. I've been looking for them every spring, for these particular leather shoes that I saw back in like the early 90s. And they didn't have them. They have like buckles on them, and I can picture in my mind plain as day. I've freaking sketched them out. I've been in. I'm a researcher, so fry sand. I mean, I've been all over. Anyway, I guess when if they're supposed to ever cross my path, they just will. I don't really need to put that much effort into it. Um, but it was just like because my picture, they're still old timey. They're not on digital. They're worn and they're older and like I have pictures of like dogs and animals I met on my adventures. You know, I got to stay in a really fancy hotel and they just redid the freaking pool and stuff. Put in one of those eternity pools over the freaking Mediterranean. Yeah, so when the boys go off to war, these are the conditions that they were going off to. These are what all the tax money goes to stay in freaking 4 or 5 star hotels. Yeah, they're doing their work too, but don't worry, there's plenty of time for play, you know, and all that what happens on a deployment stays on deployment and crap like that, and you know, it's just really frustrating me. I see a lot of women like on this same flame journey, and I see it. I just have seen it, and it's really been frustrating for me. I'm going to end up on this. You know, I've always been attracted to the vibration of women. I've always known that I was going to fall in love with a woman and marry a woman because they smell better, they're softer, they're nicer. Dudes are dumb, dude. There's a lot of men in the world that I love. I met a lot of good men. I met a handful of good men. For the most part, farts aren't. I mean, funny farts and you know, sports stats. That's about all you get. No, that's about as far as it goes in a lot of areas. You know, because people they're not allowed to talk about feelings. Well, hey, I wasn't either, so I can relate. I wasn't allowed to talk about feelings and when things hurt either. So, and you know what? I give myself permission to cry, and I don't let people define me anymore. So if you guys want to go ahead and take heed, you guys go ahead and catch on to that too. And start crying if you feel like crying, and soothing yourself and all this stuff because I think a lot of men are with a lot of really less, I mean, just mediocre men, baseline average Joes are with a really incredible women, you know, because they're quiet and soft spoken, and the woman has assumed what he is and has led the dialogue, and because she does his laundry and cooks all of his meals and does everything and drives him all over the place and pays for everything, because I see that so much in society. I'm like, dude, no wonder they need Viagra. They get driven around. Where's the mass? Where, you know, if you're toted over, and my mom used to do the same thing. She used to put her boyfriends before me and my brother, and it's common. It's freaking common. It's common. It's common. People just want love and to be loved, you know? But it's just there's a lot of imbalance because there's a lot of women that are with these freaking chumps and they're just too freaking good for them. And thank God that women are stepping into their divine feminine now. And now until October, November, they're really starting to figure it out. What the fuck am I with this basic dude for, you know? I know with all this Scorpio moon energy, you know, women are, you know, everybody. See, everything is fluid. Everything is energy. Is all fluid. Sexuality is fluid. So now we're having another wave of people are like, well, maybe I am into the same person, same set. You know, maybe they're, you know, there's that other wave of rediscovering the aspects of yourself that people have demonized or scrutinized or tried to make you feel bad for that being a part of you. But hey, it's not their right. Don't let other people define you. Don't let other people tell you who you are. People like I have an idea about who I think people are, and I'm pretty accurate. I'm not 100%. Nobody is. The fact is, I'm not right. I mean, I don't know if I'm ever going to be right unless they say, hey, Marge, and people aren't usually that honest. So I usually never know. Mostly I put out in my 2 cents worth, and, you know, every now and again I'll be like, I'll get some response like, wow, you're really right on. But most of the time people just ignore me. I get ignored a lot. I'm ready to have some friends. That's what yeah, I am. So, anyway, alright, that's about all I got for now. I hope you have a rad day. Peace.